Thank you for being here, White Wolf, Tobias Sjögren and Martin Ericsson. Thank you. Thank you.
Yay. All right. Let's go for this. Yeah, if my 18-year-old self would perceive this moment, he would probably be a jittering mess of nervousness, knowing that the next 25 years of his life would lead up to this point. Like all of you, I've followed the world of darkness from the very beginning. But at this moment, we would like to recognize that in each and every one of you. Because it's because of you that we can be here at all, and this moment in time exists. So to everyone who's kept the faith, everyone who's kept the flame burning, everyone who's kept playing throughout everything, through the ups and downs, through the glories and the despair, a massive, massive thank you to every single player out there, and especially to you guys who are showing so much support by coming out here on short notice to listen to what we have planned for the future. And of course, any thank you would be incomplete without a deep, deep thank you to everybody who's been in my shoes earlier, especially Mark Reinhagen, who created the wonderful world that we're now inhabiting. And to Justin Achille for taking it forward into new levels of darkness. And a massive thank you to Onyx Path and By Night Studios for their massive work in taking World of Darkness into a new era of publishing and community-driven and professional design, clearly showing that the story of Monsters Among Us is far from over. Thank you. And some personal shout-outs to the people who have helped us along for the first few months and introduced us to this massive community. And especially for that, Shane DeFriest and Duane, who's been our guides into the global fandom of World of Darkness. And we hope that they will remain our guides for a long time. Thank you, Shane, and thank you, Duane. And yeah,
great. And also thank you to everyone in the community that have reached out. Want to throw out Mike Tinney there as well, and everyone, just fans. We were overwhelmed by emails and posts and what have you the first 1.5 months of running this now, which is great, deep thoughts, recommendations, ideas about what happened in the past, what could possibly happen in the future, what they think about the products right now, and it helped us immensely. So thanks to everyone. So I'm going to do this little sign when it's time to shift the slides. We're going analog style here today. Or am I a mage? Let's do one. Perfect. One more click. The clicker isn't working. There we go. So, a little bit of an agenda for what to talk about today. Let's see, it's still in it. Space button.
Hit space.
There we go. Wow. My magic skills are not very good, apparently. So we want to tell you a little bit about who we are, Martin and myself. What is One World of Darkness? You probably haven't missed that. That's kind of what we try to communicate. That's our vision for how to take this forward and how the world will develop. A little bit about products and partners. More on a kind of basic level, how we move forward. We got a lot of requests, questions, so forth in the first period of time here, and we actually, before announcing this, we said, let's not go out there and just say, this is what we'll do. Let's take it a little bit easy, listening in what people are saying to get some more ideas, verify if our ideas are good. And it worked out beautifully. So now we're ready to spill the beans, or spill the blood, as the vampires say, about what we're going to do in the next short period of time. And also then, in the future, where we want to take this in the long time.
Yeah, one of my favorite call-ups from a previous engaged partner was Activision calling us like, "You're White Wolf, can you please tell us why Bloodlines sell so well?" Yeah. And I mean, those kinds of questions and comments and so on have just been flowing to us, so that is brilliant.
Cool, let's take the next one. So the big quiz here today is to figure out who's the kind of more creative guy and who's the business guy. And but give me Excel and I'll show you creativity. So very, very quick about myself, and then we move on to Martin. So I'm the CEO. My name is Tobias Sjögren. I joined the computer games business as a programmer about 20 years ago. Happened to start in a period of time in Sweden where a lot of things were cooking. So I found myself managing the studio that were doing Battlefield, building up the Battlefield franchise, DICE. I moved on from working as a head for a studio to work as an agent. So I helped game developers sell their games to publishers for about 7 years. For the last couple of years, I've been at Paradox, heading the business development, digital distribution, merchandise, and all kinds of different things. And I'm really in this business because I love, first of all, the community aspects of delivering entertainment products. When you have these kind of entertainment products that we have with White Wolf, for example, computer games and so forth, there's so much kind of love from the community when you produce these things. I would never be able to produce, there's a lot of other products there that I wouldn't be happy to do. Computer games works great for me, and I'm so excited being part of White Wolf now, working with an even bigger range of transmedia kind of products. And I'm a nerd myself, so I really love learning more about this whole universe. And I gotta admit, I'm not the best person to ask detailed questions about World of Darkness. I'm still learning, even though I've had a lot of contacts with the products before. This is the man who studied day and night.
Hey, I'm Martin Ericsson. I was born in Umeå in the far north of Sweden, and my goal in life is getting adults to play. I think it's an interesting and tragic development in human civilization that our original way of learning, taking on characters, pretending to be somebody, putting yourself in different social situations like every child does, that we have some sort of social norm that says that after we're 13, 14, it's not okay to do that anymore. To me, the best way to save the fucking planet is to get people to walk a mile in somebody else's shoes and empathize through the power of play. And yeah, the first guy to do a shout out for that was of course the man who inspired me to do this, because I'm raised by Mark Renhagen, even though he doesn't know it. I cried when I read Wraith. Mage has defined a lot of my mental images of what is possible and how reality works. And Vampire for me is something that I use regularly to check myself and know where the border between good and evil lies, because it's a very subjective and personal one, as my mentor has taught me. But apart from that, I took these, I've started out with Ars Magica back in, what can it have been, 90 perhaps, somewhere around there. And from there, World of Darkness has shaped my every creative effort. I've mostly done contemporary conspiracy stories, contemporary horror stories, and personal drama. All of them I've strived to make unofficially compatible with World of Darkness, even though they have been TV series that have been shown in 8 European countries and stuff like that. It's been important to me to honor my past, and now finally, I can pull away the part of official. And put my stories where they belong in the greatest horror universe ever created. So that's a little bit about me. And yeah, just take it away.
Sure. Let's go for the next slide. There we go. What is White Wolf right now? So what happened? We bought all the assets, all the trademarks, all the kind of properties from CCP. We didn't hire any persons over. At the time, there was nobody employed as a White Wolf person inside of CCP.
Oh, I mean, I might add that I worked as a senior. I worked as a senior content developer together with Bill Bridges and Eddie Webb and a lot of the other old White Wolf people at the CCP MMO. So that is my most recent sort of professional work for World of Darkness. But yeah,
good point. Just a little detail there. Yeah. So basically, they fired everyone, including this guy. And we hired Martin, started working on the due diligence at Paradox, looking at this. And from the very beginning, we said, White Wolf in the hands of Paradox will be a licensing company. We'll set it up as a separate entity from Paradox. Actually, you click one more and see what happens there. So Paradox is kind of a, actually, have you seen the logo of Paradox? I wasn't able to connect myself to the internet and download it, so I found this.
So you just took one of your personal memes that you always use.
I don't know why I didn't have the Paradox logo, but I have this picture. But the Paradox logo is a platypus. Because
a skeleton platypus.
Yeah, because it's a paradox, right? It's both a mammal and a bird, right? Or whatever it is. It's two things. It's strange. So in this particular case, when we're setting this up, we said Paradox is a publisher of games, producer of games. They're going to continue to do that. Some of the games they will do in the future might very well be based on the World of Darkness franchises. But there's no way that Paradox in themselves could fulfill all the needs of distribution, publishing, and so forth for White Wolf. That was clear from the beginning. So that's why White Wolf is a separate part of Paradox. We're fully owned by Paradox, but we are sitting in a separate floor in the building. We have our own management, myself and Martin. We're using, it's a great spot for us because we can use all the infrastructure from Paradox, but really focus on leveraging what we need to do to stay true to World of Darkness, rather than setting finance systems up and stuff like that.
If I can touch upon that briefly, it would be also that Paradox is very much a game company that does high replayability, massively good gameplay. And you see what the problem is here. White Wolf has always been a storytelling brand first. And that means that we have similarities when it comes to working close to fans, being really engaged in the community and so on, but also massive differences. They do historical simulation games, mostly 4-player co-op games. Of course, there are crossovers here, and you can already start imagining the kind of products that come out of this cooperation. But we can absolutely not work exclusively with those, because we will always be storytelling first. That will always be our brand. So we're complementing them within the same network of businesses, rather than being under their pillars or their way of operating.
And lastly, I would say there should be no constraints on White Wolf on what we can do content-wise.
There can be no constraints on White Wolf.
So of course, we will be free to do whatever kind of stuff we want. Let's go forward one slide. Yeah, perfect. Great. So this is the business spiel here to begin with. Really what we want to do, to sum it up in sort of one context, is establish and deliver the World of Darkness as a thrilling, mature entertainment IP. And recognizing that right now we're in a rapidly changing media climate, and challenging for that matter. So we've been talking about, could we have done this that we're doing with White Wolf right now 5 years ago? Maybe not, because there's so much that has happened to the media climate in the last 5 years. Could we have waited 3-4 years and done it then? Maybe not. So we think we are in a sweet spot right now.
Yeah, the sweet spot's where being a nerd is kind of cool again, and all of our old beloved properties are getting the attention they deserve.
And we really think that entertainment now is turning, really participatory. People engage into the worlds that they consume. The boundaries between the audience and the creators are really blurring. We've seen a lot of fan fiction turn into fantastic media IPs. Everyone can do whatever kind of content and broadcast it everywhere. And it's really cool to take a property like this that fits in so many different forms and figure out a way to delivering this in a good and unison kind of way to the community.
When it comes to transmedia properties, I mean, World of Darkness is the ultimate transmedia properties. Set in a world that looks and feels much like our own, with hidden structures underneath it, and all of the different franchises connected on a very, very deep level, even though it might not be on the surface level. That is like, it's a dream for a transmedia creator to have that sort of legacy behind you and work with that.
And as Martin pointed out before, nerds and the niche and the core, serving the core audience is more important than ever, I think. And that's really what this IP is about. Let's move one more of these text slides, and then it's almost only pictures, I promise. We want to provide you guys with the most kind of multifaceted, mature tales possible. That doesn't only entertain, but also kind of dare to ask the difficult questions of life and kind of dwell on things like, well, what is life? Why are we here? How does it work? All that kind of stuff. So mature entertainment. We think that's super important to treat this like that. This is a storytelling framework that really can be quite interesting. We're not going to aim this for teenagers, so to say.
No, and while we might approach really, really difficult subjects, I think it's important for us not just to flash them as gratuitous images, but to actually go deep and finish the conversation about really, really hard stuff, whether it's about the political issues or personal identity politics or the position of being a sexual predator. All of these things require time and depth and a high level of intellectual discourse around it. And I believe that a property like this can give the space to treat that in a respectful manner, without copping out, without censoring ourselves. We can be brutal, direct, but we will never be stupid.
And what this means in practice is basically that we see as our job is to make sure that we serve our partners out there with the tools they need to serve the community with great entertainment. We're going to make sure that we write the story, we write the meta plot, we drive the properties forward. We're focusing this on a character-driven type of storytelling, and that we then, through the partners that we work with, make sure that this is communicated to all the ones who want to consume it. And we qualify the work, we make sure the quality is up there, we coordinate different events in the storyline. So if we know that one partner is doing that, hey, it's a good fit to actually release this product at the same time, before or after. That's where we see our work. And we're not going to sit, Martin or I or the rest of the crew when they get hired, to create a lot of stuff, send out to the community. We're going to create it, send it out to our partners, and really to continue to do such a, serve justice to a great property like this. We need to work with the best artists out there. We can't hire them all. We know that. Some of them, they just want to run free. But we can lure them in for a while, have them do awesome stuff for us, and that's how we're going to operate through the licensing model. Good. Hopefully enough of business talk from me. Let's look into what we mean with One World of Darkness.
So I think the first part, we've used the term One World of Darkness as a way to prepare you guys that changes are coming, and a lot of unification and much more, as Tobias said, active management of the property is coming your way. But what does it mean? What is One World of Darkness? Why did we choose this term, and what does it entail for the franchise? Well, first off, the big one that you might have suspected, One World of Darkness is the classic World of Darkness setting in the 21st century. We want to use our position as being in 2015 to develop one core metaplot connecting all of the stories, adventures, and products across media in a character-driven horror epic that will go on for years and years and years. We jokingly say that if we don't have a show on Netflix or HBO around 2021, we have failed. So our ambitions are huge because we think this IP belongs up there with Star Wars and Game of Thrones and all the other greats. And this is the opportunity to do it. That's the scope of our ambition, nothing less is worthwhile. And that means we need to tell one story. So, next slide. The second thing that One World of Darkness means is that World of Darkness is a global setting. It's about monsters hidden in the darkest places of our world. The focus will gradually shift from the United States to Europe, Russia, and the Middle East. We won't shy away from the consequences of telling stories in our hyper-connected world of constant grassroots surveillance, paranoia, and instant communication. We won't shy away from what it means to be a monster in the age of fanaticism. This is the second thing that One World of Darkness means. It's a global story. Third, as I've said, we want World of Darkness to become the best and most recognizable horror universe out there. We want to fearlessly tackle real-world issues and historical events, as well as tell stories about the darkest aspect of the human soul seen through the eyes of monsters. We want this to be the one horror universe. And while the game lines will continue to be separate game lines, with their own powerful themes, with their own powerful statements and niches of monsters in our world, Vampire will focus, as always, on personal horror, the personal horror of being undead and the callous manipulation of mortal society. Werewolf on the desperate struggles on the Guru nation as Gaia is dying, or maybe even dead. And Mage on the Ascension War in an age where technology is redefining reality. Wraith, changelings, mummies, and demons, all of them will have their niches in our One World of Darkness. Why they will keep separate? Why they will be separate in their theme, in their thematics, we are looking to unify the look and the feel and the emotional overarching tone of the World of Darkness to make sure that when or if crossovers happen, they will work and they will jive well. That is our intention. So when we see them together, they will be in the same world, our world. Next. There we go. Yeah.
Cool. Yep.
So yeah, a little bit about how, in what kinds of products we will express the vision of the One World of Darkness.
Of course, we're going to continue having partners doing tabletop games and all that kind of stuff. No question about that. We got a lot of requests, right? So what will happen? Will there be a Bloodlines 2? Will there be? What will we do with this? And I can only tell, I wished I'd worked a year on this before announcing this, so I could answer all those questions. But what we can say...
We know basically don't announce until we have contracts, but we can speculate. Let's do that.
we can tell you what our intentions are at least, and definitely the good thing with this is people who are able to actually create this together with us get back to us as well and say, hey, what are you going to do with this? It's like, I don't know, what do you guys want to do? So we're in that process right now, and what I can promise is as soon as we can tell anything to the community about products coming, we will. But just to comment on some of the questions we've got, the card games, VTES for example, increasing interest in Sweden, even in a Swedish championship in VTES these days. It's just amazing. Of course we need to do something with that one. Haven't figured that one out yet, but absolutely we want to. Got a lot of questions about Bloodlines, Bloodlines 2, will there be another Hunter game, so forth. Yes, please.
I don't think it's rocket science that we're thinking about these things, and also if you look at how the landscape around Paradox works, I think it's sort of, we might be talking to some people, possibly. And as I said, Activision has called up, we're thinking about how to handle all these properties, but of course we're thinking about that, also about what we can do with Paradox, etc. So there's a lot of smart people speculating out there online, so.
Yeah, sometimes it's very interesting to see. It's like, how did they tap into our emails? But I guess it's not really rocket science as well. We're as nerdy. We want the same thing as the community. I think that's really the message to get through here, and we're working on it. And as soon as we have something, we'll tell you. Got a lot of questions about the Voldery mod,
which is a multiplayer mod for Bloodlines in Unity, by the way.
Yep. And I just expect to get questions about
which
that.
Was cease and desisted by CCP, and we're looking into it.
Yeah. So basically, shut up. We just started talking to these guys. I don't really know the history there, but we're talking. Our way of looking at this is it's more fun to talk to creative people than to have the lawyers talk to them. And I think that kind of, for me at least, it makes sense. I'll comment more on that, but really MMO, we got a lot of questions about the MMO that CCP cancelled as well. Yes, we acquired all the assets, we have all the materials and everything. The engine isn't such that we can fire it up. Me and Martin at least are lacking that knowledge. If CCP didn't manage to finish this off, Martin and I are not going to do that over Christmas and get that one out, unfortunately.
And I think this is the place to do a massive shout out to everybody who worked on the dev team of the MMO. We are super happy to have all of the amazing, all of the concept art, all of the thoughts and ideas that went into design. Some of those things will be directly carried over into the One World of Darkness, because there were a lot of people who sweated and bled for a lot of years, and that will not be in vain.
Great. So I would say the bad things about... Yes, okay, of course. No, let me just do this one first.
Yeah.
So the good things about working as a licensor and having these things are talking with a lot of creative people about new and exciting stuff to do. And the downside is really when you have to talk to people who were a little bit too inspired by your stuff and want to kind of infringe on the investment that we've done. And that's really the not as fun part of the business, but it has to be done. And definitely we will not allow people to capitalize on the investment that's been done in this IP for 25 years.
And when we say investment, it means all of your creative work and all your love in it. That's not yet something anybody can run away with and call it something else. There's a number of those things have happened during the 2000s. Anybody who does not see the inspiration of World of Darkness in a lot of popular media products is not paying attention, I think. So let's not let that happen again, but let's be the proud flagship of this.
Really, my personal motto is, what goes around comes around. And that's how I try to treat other people. So rather speak to people about new opportunities, but if people are kind of, taking advantage of us, we will respond accordingly. That's all I can say about that kind of stuff. We get a lot of requests about that. Hey, look at this product. What about that one? And we're working on that stuff. But also in the process, when you are there, you can't really comment too much on the details. LARPs.
Yes. Of course, Vampire the Masquerade is the most popular live-action role-playing setting on the planet ever. I have mostly done live-action role-playing design in my career. That is my fundamental art that I do. I'm a part of something that has been dubbed the Nordic LARP scene. What that basically means that it's a progressive scene that are trying to shy away from heavy rule sets and going into much deeper physicality, much more thematically heavy games, and really, really smartly designed little mini games that sometimes takes place in a black box in a very expressive and artistic way, and sometimes takes place in castles with perfect reproductions of clothes and so on. But the big thing about the European LARP scene is that it's heavily physical and very event-based. And whereas we'll continue to support and enable and keep on rolling with Mindside Theater, which is an amazing concept, we will also do more physical, more intense, official LARP events, coordinating with some of the absolutely best LARP organizers in Europe, and blow your minds with locations and costumes and concepts in the future. So that will be a big change. There will be official event LARPs going forward. And we're going to try out this concept a little bit and some of our ideas at Solmukohta, which is Knutpunkt in Finland. It's called the tying of the knot, is the best translation. And it's the traditional Nordic live-action role-playing gathering that's being held on a ferry in the Baltic Sea this year. So we will run in Helsinki, probably in an abandoned mental facility. We will run our first vampire LARP and try out some stuff there. I'm super excited about that, but that's a lot because of my background and so on. We won't focus all our eggs in that LARP basket, but we will make sure that they are awesome.
Side note on that, in Sweden we have the O with 2 dots on it, which is pronounced Ö. And if you put that in Nordic, it spells nerdic, and so just
Nordic LARP.
Just to give you a hint there. Just to give you a hint.
No, we're pretentious and cool.
Yeah, well. Yeah. So anywho, to wrap that part up, we want to listen. We want to have your ideas about new cool products out there. We definitely look forward to work with all kinds of new ideas. We got pitches on different kinds of apps and dice rollers, things that we wouldn't have imagined as a product that could license the World of Darkness stuff. We're really excited about that. We want to open up those channels and do more of those kind of licenses as well, for sure. Everything that we can do that serves the community is a good thing in our books. So really, if you have any ideas, you know where to find us. We are absolutely open to giving our officialdom, official blessings, and so on to awesome fan products. That's we would love to put an official stamp. We have our eyes on a couple of really, really cool, currently unofficial World of Darkness projects that we'd love to endorse. So cool. And then this slide is about the partners we're working with. Ta-da! We thought that was funny. So just the partners is really the key to our business, because we will never have all the manpower, all the creative force ourselves to do all this kind of products out there. So really we're going to take an active stance on this right now. I think that's it's been a bit passive, to be honest. So we're back in the game, so to say, licensing stuff again. The things I would point out is we're not going to do any exclusive deals. We're not going to say to one partner, yes, this big area is yours, nobody else is going to work here. It doesn't work like that in the creative community, I think. Of course, if you're going to do a AAA game, or if you're going to do a big movie about a setting, that's one's going to be exclusive, of course. But in general, there's not going to be any exclusive deals in that sense. Which for the community, I hope, means a lot more competition, as well as kind of creative force out there for doing good products. Paradox, definitely going to do things with that. I think we already touched that. I hope we can announce cool stuff together with them.
So that is a lot of that is going to happen in 2016. Of course, the super exciting thing for me is to look at the launch of the Chronicles of Darkness core book, which is second edition of the blue book. And if they, of course, they integrated a lot with God Machine Chronicles, which I think is fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. By night we'll open their Werewolf Kickstarter. So get on that one, and so it can be as beautiful and perfect a product as the Mindsight Theater book for Vampire the Masquerade. They will also be in cooperation with us. Of course, we will be there. The Grand Masquerade, the 25th anniversary of World of Darkness in New Orleans. So join us for that one.
Shane and Jason here in the front are the guys to talk to for that. Can you sign up already in blood?
Yes, we'll take all your registrations today. So
Perfect.
everybody's coming, right?
No, it's a very exciting year, and definitely beginning to wrap this up, just to understand, right now, 1.5 months about, we took this over. Currently, it's me and Martin, and we're trying to make sense of all the business, all the contracts, and the plans forward and so forth. We're also trying to add on resources to do what we need to be done. One of them is, of course, being way more active in social medias, which right now is just me and Martin going into Twitter sometimes and basically check what we missed. Unfortunately, we don't manage it very well right now.
We'll start staffing soon.
Exactly. So one of the first ones we want to resource we want to get in there is somebody who helps us handle the social media part of it. But let us know whatever you guys got going, events happening or whatever. We're happy to retweet or post on our Facebook or whatever and share that to the rest of the community. So yes, let us know, and we'll ask us to post something and we'll do it. Cool. Let's take one more click there. And it's a little bit like White Wolf waking up from a torpor in a way. I think we need a lot of blood right now. We're kind of angry, and we have some pretty massive plans for what to do in the year to come. Is that a good description? Can I put that in the business plan?
Yeah, put that in the business plan.
Which basically means get a team in place, get a business plan developed properly and fleshed out, and most importantly, of course, make sure there's a lot of high-quality products coming your way. So that's really our focus for the year to come. And I think Martin so one more click there. Social media channels that we have. There will be a YouTube channel coming as well. I'll post the correct address to it whenever I figure out how that works. But definitely communicate with us there. Catch us here, get our emails. Just reach out to us anytime. Happy to talk. And I think, that's kind of closing in on wrapping up there. Martin, any last words?
So again, thank you so much for sharing this moment with us. This is the absolutely first time we talk about our plans, the scope of our ambitions, and the emotional connection we have to the world of darkness, and how seriously we take the mission of making this the dark glory that it deserves to be. And to give you a little treat, I would like to give you a look into the world of darkness in 2016 and some things about where our minds are at when it comes to flavor and mood and where we're going with this product. So a very small, brief little glimpse into the minds of the development team right now.
The sick minds.
And can you kill the lights? Is that possible? Anybody on the lights killing?
We might want to crank up the sound
crank up the
for
sound a bit
the video
too.
a little bit as well. If you click, I think you need to click like 2 times for this to start.
Yes, cool. Thank you.
Once you hunted us, we tamed you. Now you fight our endless wars.
Once you feared us, we showed mercy. Now you have raped our mother.
Once you sought enlightenment, we believed in you. Now you have surrendered to the machine. Once you were heroes.
Now we're all monsters.
Trapped in our one world of darkness.
A little bit of a mindsetter, what we got coming. Cool. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it answered some of your questions. And I think we're set for, I don't know the agenda really here, but are we to do some Q&A, or how do you guys want to play this out?
Yeah, we're happy to do Q&A, of course, at any moment. Also, just come up to us and talk to us. And of course, we'll have a version of this up on YouTube at some point with cleaner sound. If you listen to it in the speaker levels here, we're a bit bizarre. But yes, so you can enjoy that at your leisure. You can also just come up to us and grab headphones and check it out. But Q&A anytime it works out for you guys. Or just jump us whenever. We're here for you. So thank you so much for sharing this moment, and thank you for your enthusiastic support. And let's make night fall. Blood and souls!
And we'll do Q&A at 4 o'clock. Perfect. Thanks.
Yeah.